You're listening to The Observing Eye. Pirate radio for the mind. Coming at you fresh from the computer hell cabin.
Hello, you beautiful lot. It's Friday, the 18th of August, 2023, and this is episode 26 of The Observing Eye. If you're new, welcome aboard. If you're returning, welcome back. As always, I like to begin these episodes with a brief moment of reflection. So, let's spend a few moments contemplating the good things that have happened the past week. And now a moment for the not so good. There's been a short hiatus of a fortnight whilst I go and get myself some holiday time, but it's good to be back. I thought, as I'm back from holiday and I'm feeling thoroughly recharged, we could do a bit of an episode, a bit of a chat about rest and how important it is and what we get out of it and why we need to do it. So let's start with sleep. Now, I know this, and I think we all intrinsically know this, but it's something that I certainly find myself struggling with sometimes, and that is ensuring that I get enough sleep and how important sleep is. I'll often find that I get like a second burst of energy late in the evening, and I start doing some projects and having ideas and writing things down. I'm working on stuff, and then the next thing I know, it's 1 a.m., it's 2 a.m., and I'm going to bed, sort of feeling okay, but then the alarm goes off at 6, and I'm getting up feeling a little bit tired, but all right, you know. Now, the problem is that this will happen periodically for a period of time, or, you know, and I'll start to feel the effects as the time goes on, and I'll start to feel slightly more fatigued and slightly less on the ball. But, you know, we keep going, don't we? We have the wonders of coffee and things like that, and, you know, the demands that are placed on us by life in general. It takes these little breathers, I think, these little moments of time out to remind me how goddamn good I feel when I get a good amount of sleep. These past 2 weeks have been fantastic. I've been getting to bed about midnight at the latest, getting up at about sort of 7, 8 o'clock, feeling really recharged and motivated and on the ball. And I think it's a bit of a creeper, and it's a false promise, I think, the staying up late to get things done. Sleep is really important. I'd say it's probably one of the most important aspects of good rest is good sleep, both from a physiological and a psychological point of view, ensuring that you get enough sleep. You may think that you're getting more done, but if we are really honest with ourselves and we look at the actual productivity and the quality of the work that we do when we're tired, when we push ourselves to do things into the late hours compared to just getting some rest and hitting it first thing in the morning, we're going to just find it so much better. The quality of the work we produce and the efficiency with which we produce that work significantly improves with good sleep. So there's your first thing. Make sure you get good rest. And like I said, we all know it, but we don't always do it. And I am as guilty as any for that. So that's my first thing. And that's something I'm going to be reminding myself going forwards. Get good sleep. Even if you're having mad ideas, just make a quick note of them and then park them till the morning. They're not going anywhere. They're still going to be in my head. I don't need to tend to them immediately. Everything's fine. So yeah, good sleep. Good sleep is important. I think there's a certain thing around creative thinking and rest. I think we do our best creative thinking when we're not actively doing. So taking time out to allow the mind to just roam in those ideas that we have can be intensely beneficial. I'm sure I've said this in a previous podcast, but we have this idea around work is an act of doing. And I think that there is a lot to be said for just that time to think and the amount that we can actually do in the time when we're not doing, which feels counterintuitive, but really, really makes a lot of sense to me when I think about just stopping for a minute and allowing my mind to have that space to contemplate ideas kind of passively in the background is deeply beneficial. So there's something else to consider. Don't always think that we have to be doing in order to be productive. Those moments of rest can enable creative thinking and help us with our productivity going forwards. So good sleep and creative space for creative thinking. I think it's also important to mention the idea of quality over quantity when it comes to rest. Making sure that we're getting quality rest time, not just going, oh, I'll have like a half an hour break, that's rest, and then I'll crack on. Prolonged periods of active rest, high quality, deep rest, both physiologically and psychologically, are hugely beneficial. So make some time for quality rest. I know it's easy to feel guilty, isn't it? Oh, there's all these things I need to be doing and I'm not. I'm just sitting here taking time out. It's a dangerous mindset. I don't think society helps with that, but it's important to get those quality moments of rest where we can really recharge and reset everything so we can come back to the act of doing, to the work with a renewed vigor and a much better motivation behind it. We've all had it, haven't we? You know, we start to gradually feel more and more demotivated by the things that we're doing. That procrastination kicks in because our body and our mind are telling us we need to take some time out, but we keep going anyway. And we become more and more disinclined to do the work. So that's where quality rest comes in. It's not about lots of little bits of rest. It's about long, prolonged, good quality downtime. So get some of that into your system. Put it in your schedule. Get something in the calendar. Take some time out. I want to just pause for a minute. I'm going to ask you a question now, as we've spoken a little bit about rest. How often do you get quality rest? And be honest with yourselves. Don't lie to yourself, because what's the point in that? Doesn't achieve anything. Honest answer. How much quality rest do you get? Do you give yourself? How much do you incorporate into your life? How important do you perceive it to be? I think we all know the physiological importance of rest. You know, things like reduced stress, better emotional regulation, better heart health as a result of reduced stress and lower blood pressure, muscle recovery, cellular repair, all of those things that happen when we are properly resting, because our body is designed in such a way that it needs rest. We are not machines. But, you know, we have to remember the psychological importance of rest as well. How important rest is on our mental health. How it improves our ability to remember things, our ability to learn. How it increases our creativity. We talked about that earlier. How it enables us to make better decisions because we're more on the ball and we're more capable of, you know, using the things that we've more appropriately remembered, or more efficiently remembered, I should say. We're less stressed. We're better emotionally regulated. So yeah, we're going to make a damn sight better decisions in our lives than if we are exhausted and fatigued and we're just making decisions because we feel we need to. We aren't making considered decisions. So rest is intensely important in our capacity to make good choices. And I think that, you know, when we're resting properly, we aren't reaching for the support mechanisms. And the support mechanisms being, you know, lots of coffee, all that caffeine, or drinking because we're just trying to sort of force ourselves into a state of relaxation. All of these things, like, they are crutches. And when we get proper rest, we don't need those crutches. None of them are really helpful. They're just a quick fix, and we know that. We all know that. I really love these moments that I take, these periods of rest, because it really is a complete reset. And I'm sure I'll forget these things I'm saying in 2 to 3 months' time when I'm back on the wheel and things need doing and the demands of life are screaming at me in the background. But I'm going to go back and listen to this podcast again. I'm going to make use of it. A little reminder, a memento, I think, just to give me a nudge to say, look, man, take some time out. You ain't going to do anything good at 3 a.m., so don't bother. It's all a farce. I saw something on YouTube yesterday, actually, which really made me laugh, and I think it's quite relevant, oddly enough. And it was a video of a guy who he's a sort of fake life coach, but he gives some of the best advice I've ever seen. And he says, there should be no work-life balance. If you are working as much as you are living, then you are fucked. And I like that, because I think these moments of rest, they are opportunities to live. And if we are purely focusing on working, and I'm speaking a lot from my own experience here, if we're purely focused on working, what is the point? Where's the human experience in that? We're just doing. We're not being, you know. I love that. Is it Alan Watts who said we're human beings, not human doings? So true. And I think all of us forget that. We don't take that time out to just have the human experience and to appreciate everything that's going on around us. So get that calendar open and pencil in some time for some rest for yourself. In the next month, if possible, get some time out. And that's all I have to say on the subject of rest. We all know we need to do it, and we all know that we probably don't do enough of it. So this weekend, get some rest. Go for a walk out in the woods. Enjoy the trees. Go and stare at the sea, or contemplate a river, or do something that's restful. And then see how much better you feel when Monday comes. And one more thing, just to pull a Columbo moment, whilst I have your attention. We've done it. We've gone social. There is an Instagram for The Observing Eye, if you fancy following it. And it can be found with the handle @TheObservingEye. Remember, that's the letter I on Instagram. And I'll just be putting some things on there that I think might be useful and supportive to go alongside the podcast and the content that is on Substack. So remember, Substack for all the good content, Instagram for just frivolous shit that I decide to put on the internet. And that's it. That's the only place we are on socials. I don't use Twitter anymore since Elon bought it, because I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it works very well anymore. It's all gone a bit weird. So yeah, it just means I can minimize the amount of different social accounts I have to manage. So The Observing Eye on Instagram, if you want to go and give us a little follow. Wishing you all a fabulous weekend. Much love, and I'll catch you soon.
You've been listening to The Observing Eye. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I hope that you found it useful. And if you're interested in any more of my writings or work around psychology and philosophy and general day-to-day living, please go and take a look at my Substack, which is theobservingeye.substack.com. And that's I as in the letter, not I as in the gelatinous organ through which you see. Take care, everybody. Much love, and I'll see you soon.